The question says, write the balanced chemical equation for the following reaction. Calcium hydroxide plus carbon dioxide becomes calcium carbonate plus water. Zinc plus silver nitrate becomes zinc nitrate plus silver. Aluminium plus copper chloride becomes aluminium chloride plus copper. Barium chloride plus potassium sulphate becomes barium sulphate plus potassium chloride. Let us first write the symbolic equation for this. So the first part A, is calcium hydroxide. The formula of calcium hydroxide is CaOH2 plus carbon dioxide. The formula for carbon dioxide is CO2. It becomes calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate formula is CaCO3, and then it forms water. Okay, now once we are done with writing this symbolic equation, now let's balance this equation. Okay, so since we have H2O here, what I will do is I will balance oxygen and hydrogen at the end. Now let's start with calcium. So on the left hand side we have one calcium atom, and on the right we have one calcium atom. That means calcium is balanced. Now carbon, on the left hand side we have one carbon, on the right hand side we have one carbon. So basically all other elements are finished. Now we are left with hydrogen and oxygen. So let's start with oxygen. So on the left hand side we have 4 oxygen, and in the right hand side we have 3 plus 1 4. So on the right hand side also we have 4 oxygen. And what about the hydrogen? On the left hand side we have 2 hydrogen, and on the right hand side we have 2 hydrogen. That means this equation is already balanced. Now let's move on to the next part B. Here you see we are given zinc Zn plus silver nitrate. The formula for silver nitrate is AgNO3. AgNO3, it forms nitrate. Okay, so it forms zinc nitrate, that is ZnNO3 twice plus silver, which is your Ag. Now let's balance this equation. Start with zinc. On the left hand side we have one zinc, and on the right hand side we have one. On the left hand side we have one silver, on the right hand side we have one silver. On the left hand side we have one nitrogen, but on the right hand side we have 2 nitrogen. So let's balance this. So to balance this we have to put 2 here. Now we have 2 silver, 2 nitrogen and 6 oxygen. So here also we have 2 nitrogen, 6 oxygen. Now we are left with silver, so let's put a 2 here. Okay, now let's compare left and right hand side. So zinc, one on left hand side, one on right hand side. Then silver, we have 2 silver on the left hand side, we have 2 silver on the right hand side. We have 2 NO3 molecule on the left hand side, and we have 2 NO3 molecule on the right hand side. Therefore this equation is balanced. Now let's move on to the third part. It says aluminium plus copper chloride forms aluminium chloride and copper. So aluminium is Al plus copper chloride. The formula for copper chloride is CuCl2. It forms aluminium chloride. The formula for aluminium chloride is AlCl3 plus copper. Formula for copper is Cu. Now let's balance. So on the left hand side we have one aluminium, and on the right we have one aluminium. On the left hand side we have one copper, and on the right we have one copper. On the left hand side we have 2 chlorine, but on the right hand side we have 3 chlorine. So let's balance this. So LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. So basically we have to put 6 chlorine on both sides of the equation. So let us multiply this with 3 and multiply this with 2. Okay, so 6 chlorines are balanced on both the sides. Now let's go to aluminium and copper. Now on the left hand side we have one aluminium, whereas on the right hand side we have two aluminium. So let's put 2 here. So aluminium is balanced. Now we have copper. So on the left hand side we have 3 copper. So on the right hand side we should also have 3 copper. Now this equation is balanced. Now let's move on to the last bit. It says barium chloride. Barium chloride formula will be BaCl2 plus potassium sulphate. Potassium sulphate formula will be K2SO4 forms barium sulphate, that is BaSO4 plus potassium chloride. Potassium chloride formula is KCl. Now let's balance this. On the left hand side we have 1 barium and on the right we have 1 barium, so no need to balance. On the left hand side we have 2 chlorine, but on the right hand side we have the 1 red. So let's multiply 2 here. So chlorine is balanced. Now let's move on to potassium. On the left hand side we have 2 potassium, on the right hand side we have 2 potassium. Now sulfur, on the left hand side we have 1 sulfur and on the right we have 1 sulfur. Similarly oxygen, on the left hand side we have 4 oxygen atoms, whereas on the right hand side we have also 4 oxygen atoms. That means this equation also got balanced. So this is the answer to this question. Hope it helps. Thank you.